NFL brings us to the City of Angels, Los Angeles, California. Getting toward the halfway point of the NFL season. Week 7 is underway on EA Sports. And this opening dynamic kickoff not going to be returned. It'll come out to the 30-yard line. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Now a whistle, and I think a penalty here for a delay. No, they're going to say timeout. They did get the timeout in time. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. To throw on the first play, McCarthy. Throws right side, and that's complete. And all the way down to the 29. A huge play there right off the bat. 41 yards. So from Charger territory now, here's a 1st and 10 as they're down to the 29-yard line. Here's McCarthy. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. 13 yards as they've got the connection working. His 2nd catch in a row, 1st down.
So we just called his name on the previous snap, and they go right back to him, Charles, for a 2nd consecutive completion.
Yeah, I think what we're discovering on this drive is that he feels like he has
nowhere to go here. He lost the football.
Oh, and one of the linemen on the other side has got it.
And they're going to take over right there at the 22-yard line. Opening drive fumble, and the 4 miscues that they had last week. 4 turnovers, Charles. So this is a bad trend.
And, Brandon, you and I both know that they didn't just ignore what happened last week. They focused on it, tried to get better. And when it happens here again in this game, the head coach is going to see that as a direct reflection on his message to the team, and it's not sinking in.
And it appears we have a Charger shaken up on that last play. More from L.A. in a moment. Options galore here. 2nd and a few inches. On the run, this is J.K. Dobbins. And that's going to be good for a Chargers 1st down as the tackle made at about the 38. The Chargers at 500, 3-3 through the season's first 6 weeks. And they come in feeling pretty good after back-to-back victories, CD.
And I thought that they played pretty well last week. Their execution, their discipline, their resilience, all on display in that victory.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Now Herbert with it, looking to pass. It's caught. Here's Langford. Give him 15 yards on that one and a Charger 1st down. Their first possession of the game, and they're already...
I'm losing offensive line.
After double coverage.
That's a nice completion that can set the tone for things to come if they're able to keep finding ways to beat what the defense is throwing at them. They look like they're confident that they can get it done.
Others, the need to belong. And 2 is to manage the impression individuals make on others. The reputation built in impression management in one line of self-expression.
Play action this time for Justin Herbert. And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble.
Oh, one of the linebackers has got it.
And they have the football and will take over at the 24-yard line. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. And they'll be looking to atone for last time's mistake of fumbling inside the red zone. Certainly they don't want to do that again.
And so much emphasis placed on red zone offense. I mean, you have periods devoted in practice just for that because everyone knows how vital it is to put points on the board when you've entered that part of the field. And to come away with nothing, that's difficult for a team to handle.
And difficult, and now we'll see if they can make it less difficult on themselves on this drive. From all the way up at the 38 now after a good start to the drive. One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. And he'll manage to pick up about 4. It's second down.
You talk about the defense for these Chargers.
They're currently 6th in the NFL in defending the run.
Now if they could just get their pass defense in line, this unit would be really, really strong. And remember the conversation with the defensive coordinator? He wants them to rush the passer better. He wants to see the quarterback on the ground.
Nowhere to go here. He lost the football.
Oh, and one of the linemen on the other side has got it.
Points 1, 2, and 3 in their defensive game plan was to get to the quarterback and knock the ball free. They did it there. Luckily, offense hangs on to it.
Yeah, that's got to serve as a wake-up call, though, because they can't afford to let the ball go over to the defense and miss opportunities. And I'm not saying it happened here, but you know what a good rule of thumb is when a play like that occurs? You know who usually recovers it? The guy who missed his block and let his quarterback get hit.
So possession still theirs, but now they face a third down. Throwing is McCarthy.
Flushed out right. That scramble good for 13 yards, but not good enough for a first down. It's 4th.
They'll indeed go. Here's McCarthy. We're looking for Jefferson, but this is intercepted.
And a great return as he gets this all the way down close to the 30-yard line. Charles, that makes now 5 interceptions in not even 5 quarters. Remember, he threw 4 picks last week.
And this turns into a tough situation because a lot of fans, the first thing is, oh, well, we need to change quarterbacks. This is your guy. This is your elite player. You can't just take him out like that. If I'm the coach, I make a little joke and say, you know some big guy, we're going to change the football. So it's obvious that's the problem. It's not you. Keep firing.
And he's got it down to the 28.
Oh, that's a real nice job there by the defense in front. They just engaged and held their ground. But how about the guy who made the play? We often talk about whether they take a good first step or not. Many times you just don't take any step. Just get your feet moving, get your body going, and then once he made the read, he was able to make the play.
And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. A busy first quarter. His 3rd catch of the afternoon is a first down.
Another nice play there. They've gotten down into the red zone in no time at all. That's what this offense can do when they get on a roll. And now they're set up with a 1st and 10.
Herbert going to change the play here.
Now some movement before the snap. And we'll hear from our referee for the first time this afternoon. A false start backs him up 5. 1st and 15. Justin Herbert looking to pass. Eluding the pressure right. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted.
Picked off by Odafe Owe. And the Vikings are going to get the football here as he gets this up to the 38-yard line. So a first interception thrown for him there, and that really not the best decision either.
Not at all, and that's something he did not do in their victory last week. No interceptions in that game, but this defense, they're able to take advantage of an early mistake. Now let's see if they're going to turn it into points.
Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. That is into the hands of Hockenson downfield. Touchdown, Vikings! T.J. Hockenson, his second touchdown on the season. And the Vikings take the early turnover and convert it into an opening touchdown. Extra point by York is up and good. And it's now a 7-0 game. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And here comes a return from a few steps into the end zone. And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. The Charger drive about to get going. And they are winners of 2 straight games as they have climbed back to 500 now on the season.
And you and I both know this can be a tough team to figure out sometimes, because I remember a few weeks ago you and I having a conversation where we both thought that this was a season that could get away from them pretty quickly. Obviously not.
Ball on the 28-yard line. Here's a 2nd down and 9. Right back to Brown. And they'll wind up getting this to the 37. Gain of 9. Here comes 3rd and the length of the football. Here's Herbert. Looking deep downfield. And this will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
I know this offense was expecting to do big things, but it certainly hasn't turned out that way, at least not through the first 3 drives. They're definitely going to have to put their heads together and start concocting some offense that'll move the ball downfield.
They'll try and run for it with Brown. And this is going to be nowhere close. Needed some inches and ended up losing yardage. So certainly an interesting call there to go for it. And the Vikings, they have the football now in excellent field position. On 1st down, they'll go to the ground attack. And this defense not ready for that one as he'll take this down inside the 25. After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports.
With the score, Vikings 7, Chargers 0.
The Vikings with the football here to begin the 2nd quarter, as they've got it with a 1st and 10. Now McCarthy. And he takes a shot in the release as this will be incomplete.
I think he had to hold that one before he wanted to. He was right up in his grill. I think he was a dentist there without a license, don't you?
Just not enough time for the play to develop. Just lucky it wasn't a fumble, really. Here's 2nd and 10. McCarthy off the play fake. He's got his man. It's taken in for a Viking touchdown. Kayshon Boutte, a 24-yard touchdown. And the Vikings go up by 2 touchdowns. Extra point by York is up and good. And it's now 14-0. Minnesota's kick team ready, and the Vikings boom it away. And not willing to risk another fumble. He'll sit on this one. It's a touchback. The Charger drive about to get going. And they're in a bind early here, down 14-0. Are you worried at this stage or still too early?
You're worried. You're just trying not to transmit it to the rest of your team. You want to make sure that they stay positive. But at the same time, you're wondering, how are we going to move the football? What do we have on this play sheet that can work? Get back to basics is usually your answer. And make sure you find the guy who can move the ball fastest for you if you just get it in his hands.
Yeah, still second quarter. You get points on the board here. I think you're feeling okay. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. Back to throw here, Herbert. Oh, everything falling apart now. Another one intercepted. Picked off by Byron Murphy. And he'll take it across midfield and down to the 48-yard line.
When a team's turned it over 3 times in the first half, we just look at the offense and say, guys, what are you doing? But instead, we really should be looking at the defense. They've created the takeaways. 2 interceptions, 1 caused fumble. They played awfully well swarming to the ball here in the first half.
And they'll get this just to the 47, 1-yard gain.
Yeah, things were pretty stacked up there in the middle of the line. A lot of bodies, not much space. I think ultimately he was fortunate to get anything out of that run.
Ball on the 47-yard line. Here's a 2nd and 9. To the air with McCarthy. That pass complete. Here's Butte with it. Calling a gain of 3 on the play. And now 3rd down and 6 to go.
Oh, it's time to give more credit there to the defense. They played that very well because it was a drag route. And he ran it a little shallower than normal as he worked straight across the field. He was hoping he'd get lost behind the defensive line. But once he made the catch, nowhere to turn upfield and gain any yardage.
Forced out to his left. And he'll slide down to avoid the tackle.
Certainly not a positive sign if you're the D coordinator and you see your guys give up that space so early in the game. 3rd down, that's when the clamps are supposed to come out. But his ability to create things with his legs makes things difficult.
There goes a deep ball, end zone. It's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Justin Jefferson, 36 yards. And the Vikings have moved out in front by 3 touchdowns. Extra point by York is up and good. And it's now 21-0. Minnesota's kick team ready, and the Vikings boom it away. And not willing to risk another fumble, he'll sit on this one. It's a touchback. The Charger drive about to get going. Well, CD, you kind of feel like they're in a bit of a danger zone right here because now you're down 3 scores, and I know we're in the first half, but the way this offense hasn't been able to generate anything, you feel like they probably need to get something going on this drive, right?
Yeah, and sometimes I overuse that this is an important possession. But I think this has to be the possession where they come up with an answer because only a few teams in league history have ever come back from a 4-score deficit. And if they don't score here, that's what they could be facing the next time they get the ball.
They'll give this up the middle to Brown. And he's taken down at the 50 after a short gain of 2. Here comes 3rd and about a foot. Now Herbert going to change the look. They'll run on 3rd down with Brown. And not only will he not get the few inches he needs, he's going to go backwards. This defense not budging. Back-to-back carries of just 2 yards. Well, the offense failed earlier on the previous crack at this, but they're going again on 4th down. They snap it to Herbert. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he'll go down inside the 45 before going out of bounds. A curious decision to go for it, but it pays off with a 1st down.
1st and 10 at the 44-yard line.
Herbert. On
How is he
his
running?
third interception. And the Vikings are going to take over at their own 28-yard line. A nightmare of a first half for him. And that's now 3 interceptions. But Charles, with his talent, if anyone can shake this off and right the ship, it's him.
I agree, because you don't get to be one of the best quarterbacks in the league without developing some major mental toughness. So I expect him to go in the locker room at halftime, hit the reset button, and come out a new guy in half number 2.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. Well, everything right now that they touch on this side of the football, it seems to turn to gold. They've scored on 3 straight possessions. That lead continues to grow. And a loose football. And picked up by the Chargers. Down the right sideline. He may go. And he is not quite going to make it all the way in. Down right about the 1-yard line. And they had just picked it off to get the football. They fumble it right back. And now, as with every potential turnover, they're going to take a second look at this just to make sure. So that one overturned. They say the knee was down, and that will not be ruled a fumble. On first down, they'll go to the ground attack. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. Second down coming up.
Well, you don't turn your nose up at a gain of 4, do you? They'll take that on first down. Playbook's got to be pretty well open on 2nd and 6.
Two minutes remaining in this first half of football. A reminder that when halftime rolls around, Jonathan Coachman will have all the highlights and analysis of this first half of play from our studios in Orlando. Working out of the gun is McCarthy. Going underneath, he's got Hockenson, his second catch, and this one not nearly as electrifying as his first. And it'll bring up third down now. That catch, by the way, number 505 of his career, and that ties him with a couple of other tight ends for the past, Frank Wycheck and Dallas Clark.
And those guys are excellent players, but how about what we're seeing right now? 505 and rising. What a nice career he's put together.
That is caught, and he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. That's good for 9 yards as they convert on the third down play. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. On play action, McCarthy. His throw here is incomplete.
So it looks like they started some fighting them on this series because it seemed like things were headed for the red zone. But this defense gets 2 more stops. They can keep them out of that area.
Looking to throw McCarthy. Right side, it's the tight end, Hockenson. And he's brought to the ground with another first down at the Chargers 21. Now the Vikings will use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop him with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. McCarthy, he'll set to throw it. And that one will fall incomplete. Clock here now just under 30 seconds to go in this first half.
Well, a momentary speed bump there with that throw, partner. The defense had other ideas, and they're trying to mount a small stand before this drive reaches the end zone.
McCarthy going to throw again. And he will slide to a stop. He does have the first down. And with just 1 second remaining in the first half, they'll call the timeout.
Certainly not the way they drew it up in the playbook, but that's why they love this guy back there. He sees things breaking down, and he's more than capable of finding an escape route and still getting a decent gain.
York able to send this one through. First half in the books. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. And we welcome you back now. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, getting set for quarter number 3 here. The Chargers going to get the football first here in this second half, and they trail as we get back underway. And this return going to come to a quick end as he is belted at the end of that one. The Charger drive about to get going. And you have to think, Charles, down 3 scores already. They need to play an almost perfect second half to have a solid chance.
And that absolutely starts with finding some way to put together a touchdown drive here. They need to be smart, fast, efficient, get the ball to the end zone, and do it again multiple times in order to have a chance to win this game.
Well, the first play of the drive lost 4. Now they'll look to move it forward here on 2nd and 14. They keep it on the ground. Again, it's Brown. He is taken down at the 21 after a short gain of 2. That ground game contained again there, Charles, and that's really a big reason that they're trailing right now.
They give a lot of credit to that defensive front. That's exactly what they worked for all week, to try and take away the run game, make them one-dimensional. In the battle of game plans, theirs has been superior.
3rd down now. Those last 2 plays indicative of how things have gone for them. Just nowhere to go on the ground and struggling to put up points. Here's Herbert. He's got his target. That's complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before they reach the 50. A first down and then some. Give him 29 yards. From the 50, here's Herbert. Got an open man, it's Josh Palmer. From the 43, it's 2nd and 3. Now it's Herbert. That's going to be caught. It's Palmer. And this is going to turn into another first down as the tackle is made at the Vikings 23. A good pickup there of 20 yards. I don't know what they talked about at halftime. Whatever it was, it worked. They look like a different team here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, I doubt that there were very many trash cans that got kicked over, that type of a speech. I think what they did was they analyzed what worked in the first half, what didn't, and figured out a better game plan.
Well, he was hit as he threw it there, and that one winds up incomplete.
You get the sense that they're saying we're not playing up to what we're capable of, and we're deep enough into the game that the early jitters are long gone, that they should now have some sense of continuity and be able to make some of these plays that they have not been doing so far.
To the left side, he's got McConkey. And this is going to turn into another first down as the tackle is made at the Vikings' 13-yard line.
That's another Chargers first down. First and 10 at the 13-yard line.
Now Herbert with it, looking to pass. Touchdown! Marvin Mims from 13 yards out. And the Chargers are able to cut into this lead as they score on the opening drive of the second half. So that, Charles, their first score of the ball game, obviously, coming here in the third quarter. Is that going to be enough to energize the troops?
It's a great question, and we'll wait to see the answer, but it's finally something for them to build on. Now they know that they can actually score against that defense.
That's caught, and he's got it for the two-point conversion. So they tack on a pair more here to narrow that deficit a bit further. And it appears we have a Charger shaken up on that last play. Now after the Dicker field goal, he's back out ready to send it away. And no run back forthcoming, so this will come out to the 30. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. And they were terrific in the first half, built up a sizable lead, and it's just been cut into a bit following the opening drive score on the other side. But this is a unit that has to be itching to get the football again.
You can say that again. They've got to be pretty eager because, let's face it, they've had to sit through halftime, then sit on the sidelines and watch that drive. So you can bet that they're saying, let's get on with this. We got to go out there and get some more points.
That huge loss on the sack makes this job much more difficult. It's now second down and 22 yards to go. And here's a handoff out of the gun. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to third down. Caught the defense off guard there a bit on second and long, but now you still have to deal with third and long.
Yeah, you do, but you feel pretty good about the last play, don't you? And maybe it gives you a little bit of confidence dialing up the next one, and maybe your team will believe in it when you send it in.
Right where this set of downs started, they need a full 10 here to pick up the first down and move the chains. Here's McCarthy. And now another turnover as this one's intercepted. And the return will stop right around the 25. So a potential momentum shifter there, working with a two-score lead, third quarter, but that, not the smartest of throws.
I would agree with you on that one because this game is still very much in the balance. It felt pretty one-sided to this point, but now, if these guys can turn this turnover into points, things could start getting a little more interesting.
On first and 10, here's Brown. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down. Herbert now. It's caught. Here's Langford. So the completion results there in 9 yards. And now it's 3rd and 3. They like going to him in the slot. He catches another one.
I think this comes under the heading of until they stop him, why not go back to it? He has something going really well. Great working relationship with the guy throwing the ball, and they keep making the connection.
Out of the gun now on 3rd down. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. And the Vikings are going to get the football here as he gets this up past the 20-yard line. One side gets an interception, but their defense comes on the field and picks them right back up by getting a pick of their own.
And I think you saw the same thing that I did, Brandon. As he ran off the field after making that play, we saw his quarterback seek him out and offer a personal thank you to bail him out a little bit as the offense takes the field again.
Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. And that will be incomplete. Would have been a big hitter if they had connected. Instead, it's second down.
That's some good closing speed there defensively because that looked open for a minute. But that's great work with the ball in the air. Never gave up. Converged on his man. and broke the play up.
Third quarter now from SoFi Stadium. Here's a 2nd and 10. Throwing is McCarthy. A nifty bit of scrambling there. 12 yards, first down.
He's starting to fall into the category of not fair, because when he's on target throwing the ball, he's dangerous. But when you add in his ability to make plays with his feet, almost impossible.
Yeah, exactly. They've had trouble stopping him in the secondary. This time they've got the great coverage. Oh, he can run too. He's going to go for a big play downfield. It's caught. Inside the 25.
Not get to the ball.
And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. A great play there. His first touchdown on the year. And the Vikings are able to extend their lead in the final seconds of this third quarter. And correct me if I'm wrong, that was just a simple fly route, wasn't it?
No, there's nothing to correct at all. You've got it down pat. And I just remember as a player, when I'd be in practice sessions and I'd hear 9 from the receivers, that meant fly route, go. Uh-oh, look out. That was the 9, and he just kept going all the way into the end zone for the touchdown.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And not willing to risk another fumble, he'll sit on this one. It's a touchback. The Charger drive about to get going. Their mini 2-game win streak appears it might be going by the wayside unless they can pull a rabbit out of their hat. The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on 2nd down. Justin Herbert looking to pass. And oh my goodness, here's a 5th interception. I think you and I were a little surprised back earlier in the game when he threw his 2nd interception. I mean, who would have thought a quarterback of his caliber picked now 5 times?
It's beyond stunning to me because we're used to that with maybe a quarterback with less experience or less talent. But a quarterback of his caliber, I can't believe what we've just seen.
Absolutely. If you would have told me this coming into the ball game, I would have said never, not in a million years. But here we go. They'll bring a receiver in motion right. On play action, now McCarthy. Touchdown, Vikings. A great effort there. With 2 touchdowns on the season, both in this game. And the Vikings look like they're going to get back in the win column as they extend their lead here in this 4th quarter. Extra point by York is up and good. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead. Minnesota's kick team ready, and the Vikings boom it away. And not willing to risk another fumble, he'll sit on this one. It's a touchback. The Charger drive about to get going. Well, we said it at halftime that they would need a nearly perfect second half to erase that deficit that they were facing, CD. But unfortunately, the second half has pretty much been... And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by Trenton Simpson. And he'll take it across midfield and down to the 48-yard line. Well, with this advantage, this defense knew that passes were coming, and they stayed in position, Charles. And picked one off here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, what a way to cap things off, huh? Because I think this is part of the game within the game. They see the scoreboard, they see what they can accomplish, and they went for it.
They'll send a receiver here in motion right. Here's a fake on the jet sweep, and instead a give up the middle. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. Second and right at a yard. And I think we can get used to seeing more of that in this fourth quarter, especially if they're having success on the ground like they did there.
Yeah, I think back when we met with the head coach in preseason, and all he talked about was building a bully. And I think it was this situation he was envisioning. Trying to ice a game, plenty of time left, but being able to give the ball to his big runner and pound away and try and finish off the game.
47 yards rushing for him now on just 6 carries to this point. Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down. On the handoff, Abanikanda. And he's able to work his way down inside the red zone to the 19-yard line. It's a gain of 11 as the Vikings pick up the first. So here's a 1st and 10 now down inside the 20. Now a handoff looking right. And he'll get this down only to the 18. Deion Henley there on the tackle.
That play reminded me a lot of a former teammate of mine. We used to call him the trash man. His ability to sift through traffic and make plays was uncanny.
And that's exactly what you want from your Mike linebacker. And they'll give him another shot here on the ground. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. It's a loss of a yard, so it's back to 3rd and 10.
Two things to watch. First, his strength and being able to break out that initial contact. But at his size, once you slow his momentum, it's hard for him to get it started again and end up tackling him behind the line of scrimmage.
From the shotgun, McCarthy. And that's going to be incomplete. The coverage too good there. The contact popped the ball free, and it's 4th down. Cade York on now for the field goal. York able to send this one through. So he's been automatic to this point of the season, and he connects on the field goal there.
And what a luxury it is to have a kicker you can depend upon, partner, because he hasn't missed all year long. Converts on that one as well. And kudos to you. You didn't jinx him.
And not willing to risk another fumble. He'll sit on this one. It's a touchback. The Charger drive about to get going. Now, they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, you had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. A shotgun snap for Herbert.
Hey, I want to make sure everyone's
He's got his man complete. And he will finally be shoved out of bounds down at the 30.
our lab teacher, he emailed us and he said,
And even 40 yards.
We're reaching the halfway point of the term, so I wanted to take a look at time and stock of your progress this far. You know, they do that to see, like, if you want to drop your comments. And he tells you, go to your course schedule, add up, like, a total points value for all your assignment, record your answer, do not try to count the assignment. Again, does we have a comment?
Taught by Kelvin Joseph. And the Vikings are going to take over here on the INT at their own 5-yard line. Well, they've got the huge lead now. They have another interception on the defensive side. Seems like everything they touch in this one, Charles, turns to gold.
They have to be awfully happy.
Well, when I looked at mine,
one more for the road.
I was like,
and seal away one of their best efforts of the season.
Here are the
because aren't you
Vikings
supposed to only get an average of 4 yards at a time? You're only supposed to average out of those assignments already. Like, in other words, to get your average, you can't say 467 out of 1,002 because 1,002 is for everyone. But we didn't turn everything in yet. So I need to take off the one. I need to only calculate for the ones that were due, right? 100, 100, 100, 100.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of
So
the game.
610,
That means
right?
it really counts
Yes,
on
just
that
to
offensive
figure out
line
the
coming out
calculation.
the
But then
line.
he didn't grade this week. So it would be 510, which it would be 467. Is that right? Out of 510,
And if you have the ball,
and then you see.
they can't score.
But when he said how to do the breakdown, he said all these crazy numbers, which if I would look at that 400, it would look like a catch. But I have an edge, right?
Yeah, you have an end because it only counts for what you have.
So far.
So far,
Yeah, I think he said
From
it's
the
like
gun, here's Abanikanda.
That's 85.
And a nice
No,
job to
it's
break
like
free of
air.
one tackle, but it slowed his momentum somewhat, and he's taken down right after.
That's it.
You
That's what
feel
you
that?
want. Straight ahead.
It's like
Lead the
the
game.
air pressure.
Just keep that clock ticking.
Just 2
Vibrating
minutes
your ears?
remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. In need of a conversion on third down, and the big play to start the drive. Not much sense.
That's what it was. They needed to
To the
follow.
air with McCarthy. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. That one goes for 29 yards on third down.
No, man, I don't think so. I was in here.
Abanikanda on 1st and 10. Oh, able to avoid him. And he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on 1st down.
I like it. I like the call. Still an opportunity to run the football and chew up a little more time off the clock.
2nd down and a yard. They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And he'll get it down this time to the 17. 2 yards on the pickup, and that's all they needed to move the sticks. Hate to be blunt, but it is just continuing to prove to be the case that this O-line is manhandling this D-line right now.
They deserve to roll up their sleeves and show up their biceps because they're doing exactly what you just described. Manhandling the defensive front. They've got the leverage. They're powering through, and they're controlling this game.
Look how she's screaming.
Yeah, that's crazy. I knew it. Her vagina's hurt.
That's why she's screaming.
Yes, I'm pretty sure. I read it.
She got pictures.
And they brought it.
But she been
What? She ain't been hurting her.
No, was she screaming? Then while I was doing the team out.
No, she said when you heard her, when I heard her.
They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty.
It is. It's that stuff on there. She need to put that stuff on her stuff.
Well, they'll run it here on the jet sweep. Looking for a crease, can't find one. Stopped at the line of scrimmage. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd
Tell me what
down.
it is.
Let's just make this one succinct. Nice job there. All 11 guys on defense diagnosing the jet sweep and putting it down.
And his kick is indeed good, and that will extend their lead even further. Well, ultimately not really sure that they're going to need those 3 points, but they'll take the 3 and they pad that lead.
Yeah, this one's already wrapped up, but you and I both know if you're an offensive coordinator, you never let up on the gas unless the head coach tells you to do so. And maybe you've actually clicked him off in your headset so you can keep calling plays and trying to add to this lead.
One last throw here for Herbert. And that will be incomplete as time has run out on this football game. Well, this was a